The Midwest, home sweet home in good old Indiana. A place of small towns, cozy families gather together, and fields of corn and rustic woods. But, like any town, there is a dark underbelly that often goes unnoted. We are part of that darkness. We lurk in the shadows to bring you the best in horror, metal, and stories of the grotesque. This is Blood in the Cornfields. All right, welcome in, cellar dwellers and scream things. I am Mark.
I'm Ivy.
And we are Blood in the Cornfields. So excited today because we have two very special guests. We have two final girls themselves, the final girls. If you want to go ahead and introduce yourselves.
I'm Kellie, and I am one of the hosts of Final Girls. I am a film graduate as well as a human-computer interaction graduate. I work in AI, but film is still a dear love of mine. And so we started this podcast to talk about the amazing women in movies. And in my personal life, I am also just a gamer and just kind of a big nerd. That's just me. So.
I may talk about games.
Yeah.
Please do. Please do.
I'm Sarah. I'm the other half, the other co-host. I live in LA. I am a writer. I call myself a pop culture writer, but I kind of write about a lot of different things. I'm trained as a historian. So I have 3 children. I actually have 3 baby books coming out that I've written this summer. They're witchcraft baby books. So I'm really excited for those.
Well, just tell me where I can purchase these.
Yeah,
things.
I was going to say, we will promote and she will buy.
I definitely will. Yeah. And those are coming out. And then, I'm writing a book right now. And trained historian. So a lot of my except the baby books, obviously, a lot of my stuff is research based, and I love horror. I'm also a girly girl, so I always say I'm half clueless and half the craft. So
I love that. That is such a good.
That's like a perfect mash.
Oh my god!
So yeah, that's where I'm coming from. So I'm really excited to be here. Thank you so much for having us. We love meeting people, and we love talking about horror. So,
and Marc and Ivy, can we curse?
Yeah, that's a good question.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah.
We usually ask. I forgot to ask beforehand. Good to know.
We may randomly yell titties at some point, just so you know.
I think we've done that too. Yeah.
There's not much titties in Hellraiser.
No, but that's okay.
Weirdly enough, you would think you'd at least see somebody with like a nipple piercing or something.
For the year it came out, yeah.
Yeah,
it's weird.
Well, and for the themes,
yeah,
definitely.
Probably on the
vagina lady with like the
One that I strangely like am absolutely attracted to, even though it's kind of weird. Makes me feel a little funny, but that's all right.
You're not into Butterball?
That's a little more man than I'm comfortable trying to take on.
That is a lot of man.
Well, anytime your books come out that you're doing and stuff, like let us know. We will totally support the shit out of that.
Thank you.
It's really cool that you're a writer because we have actually started doing a movie review for magazine.
Oh my god, there goes all
that's all right. It doesn't matter. For Devil Tale magazine.
Wow.
Yes, shameless plug. You like how I just threw that up here?
I love that.
Yeah, that's really cool.
So we it's every other month and we have a movie review that we're doing. So it's interesting for me because she is definitely the writer. I am not. I am the idea man. So I will just gurgitate out thoughts that are like of an 8th grade level. And then she kind of spoofies them up and makes them sound a lot better. So it is definitely challenging, and you may understand this, to put what's up here to here. It doesn't sound like it's a major thing, but since I've started writing, I'm like, holy shit. What's up here does not always work out down here.
And see, I'm a funeral director by day, but like by night, I like write scripts and other things like that. And I love to write, but it's not my job. And I write obituaries, so.
I think that's kind of true of podcasting too, though. It's like sometimes I have all of these thoughts that I want to convey as we're talking about various things. And once in a while I can articulate it exactly right. And other times I'm just kind of searching for like the right words. So yeah, I think it's similar.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, I have to write little scripts for myself if I know I'm not going to remember or if I'm not going to be able to string a sentence together. I literally will write a little script for myself.
Yeah.
I can agree with that wholeheartedly. I
gotta do what you gotta do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sweet. Well, we kind of like to go over some current events, some things that we have coming up or some things that are coming up in the horror world that we are excited for. So why don't you let it rip?
Yeah. So the first one, we're just kind of do a spitfire one and want to get your thoughts as well. We have The Ugly Stepsister that's been blowing up all over
come to
social
Shudder
media, and it is on Shudder.
Yes.
Looks amazing. I still haven't seen it yet.
I haven't either. But
it's on my list.
Mm-hmm.
I gotta finish Dracula, then I won't go watch it.
Yeah. Yes.
It's on my list too, but I, as a rule, do not watch trailers or read summaries or really find out anything beyond what's in the poster. And so I've seen the poster and I am intrigued and I've been hearing some of the buzz, but other than that, I like to just jump right in. So I may, if it's on Shudder now, I may just watch it after this.
It has subtitles, right? It has German subtitles or English subtitles. Yeah,
because I subtitles anyway, so that doesn't bother me.
I do too. Yeah, but I turned it on. I was like, oh, I have to concentrate to this. So I wasn't in that space. Yeah, so I had to turn it off and watch something stupid, which ended up being the movie we just did for our last recording, which was Demonic Toys, which is the stupidest movie I've ever seen in a good way.
Those are my favorites.
And
stupid
it was wild to cover the pregnant final girl.
Yeah. Pregnant final girl. Yeah.
Any pregnant final girls. So I think that's awesome.
Good point. We didn't even bring that up. Yeah.
Think of another one offhand. I'm sure there are some on our list.
The only one I could think
Rosemary.
Rosemary.
Yeah.
Well,
I was saying you guys did that just like recent. 2 episodes ago.
This yesterday, that was the one that dropped yesterday.
It just came out. Yesterday.
Okay, cool. I got that the Megan and then that one I got them confused because one was 19 and one was 20 because I know you guys were saying that you did your
Rosemary was 20, Megan was 19. Yeah.
God, I love Megan. I call her Megan.
And it's rubbed off on me. It's
like
rubbed
the
off on me now.
I love it.
Yes, it has. It's rubbed off on me.
Yes.
Megan. Your jacket though. No, I love Megan also.
Which the dance was good.
Yeah, that was so good.
Yes.
Sarah,
It took me a minute to figure it out, but I was like, people probably want to know how to do this because it's really fun. So it took me a second. I had a lot of B-roll.
Did you post the draft that Eric did too?
Oh, I did. Yeah, I had my husband did the recording, and he did this really silly version of it. And nice. it's a hard dance. So that's why I need a tutorial.
I understand. We actually had an episode where we did a pole dancing class.
Yeah.
And my big old ass was on a pole, and that was not.
It's not
graceful.
Easy. Oh my god!
I'm a competitive pole dancer. It's funny you say that.
Oh, okay.
Are you really?
Yeah. Well, so was our trainer. We had a legit trainer. She was legit, no, and I'm just like, seriously. I can't even fucking attempt to do this shit. Like I gave it my all, but I looked atrocious. So. I'm not very graceful.
That's how I felt that too. Like I could barely stay on. My hands kept getting nasty.
I would be the same way.
Oh man,
that's so cool though. I didn't know that. That's awesome.
Yeah. I have a performance coming up in June, and then I have a big, huge competition in September. And it's funny because we just did Death Proof for the podcast, and Planet Terror. And I changed my stage name to Cherry Darling. And I also, my September piece for this competition is going to be Chick Habit, the ending song of Death Proof.
Oh, you didn't tell me that.
Oh, yeah. Oh, I thought I told you. Yeah. So
amazing.
Yeah, I already submitted it. Yeah. So I already kind of imagining like my costume. So so people in the audience, they're going to see Cherry Darling and hear that song and know all of that's from Grindhouse. So
that's so cool. I love it.
That is cool.
You love a horror girly that can do stage performances. That's awesome.
Sweet. Well, what else we got? We're looking forward to.
We also have Full Moon is finally releasing Tony Todd's last film, Cutter's Club. It was originally, I guess it was filmed in 2005, but it was said to be lost to time.
That's crazy.
And ever since he passed away, they've been doing their best to like kind of get it out there and finally complete it. And now it is completed and it's free on Tubi to watch.
Did you say Full Moon?
Full
Moon entertainment.
Yep.
Oh, yeah.
That's right. I mean, we got a full moon poster back here.
Yes,
we sure do. Look at that.
Cellar Dweller.
Yep.
Okay.
That's funny.
Yeah. And it was from their auction that my husband bought, and I thought that was really fucking cool.
Yeah,
that's cool.
That is really cool.
Yeah. But yeah.
That's awesome.
I don't know about this movie. I know nothing about it.
Yeah, like most people, I didn't even know this movie existed. So I kind of like that I literally know nothing. And if it's Full Moon and it's Tony Todd, I'm like, hey, that works for me.
A fun bit of trivia. I worked on a movie that Tony Todd was in.
Really? That's sweet.
It's not a good movie. It's not a Full Moon production.
That's all right.
But it's actually from 2008, and it starred Flava Flav.
Oh my god!
It's called Night Tales, and it was kind of like an anthology thing. Like it's kind of a ripoff.
So kind of like Tales from the Hood.
Yeah,
it's exactly. I feel like I know that. I have to look at that because I feel like I know it.
That does actually sound a little familiar too.
It's silly. It's funny because I met Tony Todd at a convention like later on because I wasn't on set at the same time as him, and I was like, "Hey, dude, we both worked on Night Tales." I was like, "Did you pick it up?" And he's like, "I don't buy the movies that I'm in, but like I'll see it at some point."
That's so funny.
Whatever. I'm a nerd. If I was ever in a movie, I'd buy like 100 copies.
Yeah, absolutely.
They should really provide it to you, but like it was a really cheap production company, so you know.
I would make a fucking necklace from it.
Just making it rain with copies. Yeah.
Oh my gosh. So yeah, where am I going right way?
There you go.
Yep, there it is.
Yes.
Yeah.
I don't know.
There you go. You got
do
it.
the things.
Right
I don't know what I'm doing.
Yeah,
okay.
he was a clown. He was a clown in it.
He was the clown.
So I have seen the cover of this because I've seen that cover.
Mm-hmm.
I've seen that. I don't remember where it was, but that's why it was kind of ringing a bell. I have not seen it, but I know I've seen that cover somewhere.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, the production company wasn't very popular. We did also do a movie that is not terrible called Chain Letter, which is it's like a slasher movie about chain letters, you know.
So was that like kind of more low budget?
Oh, all of these are extremely low budget.
Letter I may actually have because it's on one of those like 8-packs, I think.
Oh yeah, that makes sense.
Cool.
It stars Nikki Reed from 13. What else was she in?
That's not showing up. It wouldn't if it's in
and Keith David was in it.
I will have to check at home to see if I have that. I know it's in an 8-pack. I don't remember if because you'll get like 8 spooky flicks and it's or Rodney's basement and Randolph's tree or whatever, like
I was just on
a road at the end of the drive at the end of the hill,
Yep.
like those movies in it.
On Vudu, I just bought their like Nicolas Cage collection, and some of them are like absolute gems, and some of them are like the worst dog shit imaginable, and so it's just a perfect combination.
That's
I love
awesome.
those packs where you just have no idea what you're getting at the bottom of the barrel. So
it's
they're fun. I mean, I picked up one that was like a werewolf themed one, and I'm like, I don't know any of these fucking movies.
That's the best,
Yes.
It sounds cool. Like I haven't finished it, but yeah.
Yeah. Some of them are very similar. So we're actually gearing up. I talked her into doing our first ever franchise in review.
Yes.
And it's one of my all-time favorites because I mean, nobody talks about it, but I have such a love for it. But we're going to do franchise and review Wrong Turn. And some of those in there, like around, they're pretty shit-tastic. Some of those in there are pretty terrible.
I think I remember some of those being like pretty gnarly in less than fun ways at times. I could be wrong.
Oh, the second one has Henry Rollins in it, playing like a lead character.
Oh my God. Okay, Sarah, tell him.
He was our best man at our wedding.
Oh shit. Okay.
Yeah, we got married in 2020, and he was our best man.
That's
my husband knows him.
Okay, so yeah.
Sorry, I don't mean to name drop. That sounds so pretentious.
I'm name dropping like crazy. So like jump in.
Yeah, you know lots of cool people.
Yeah,
that's awesome.
You next time you see him, you will have to talk to him about Wrong Turn 2 and tell him I fucking love it.
He's in so many movies. It's funny because there was a movie we watched called The New Guy. It's just a silly little comedy. He's in it, yeah, and he's in it. He's like the PE teacher or something. And when we saw him, Eric was like, "Oh yeah, I just saw you in New Guy," and he's like, "I was in that one." Like he just took so many. He just took all the acting gigs that came his way because he was just like, "This is fun."
Well, yeah, money.
That's cool.
Yeah. So Wrong Turn 2. We're gonna have to. I don't remember him in that one, so we're gonna have to turn that one on.
Yeah, cool. It's like Wrong Turn. It's the first one was like. I Know What You Did Last Summer-ish
fame.
Exactly. Like kind of like that. And then the rest of them are pretty terrible. Because the budget, and I watched 1 and 2 because I just finished 2, and the budget drop off is just wow. From 1 to 2.
Which is funny because so many times they go up, but the budget goes, that's
funny. It stays down. I mean, it's about, inbred hillbillies that are killing, which I absolutely love. Like,
that's like a whole genre by itself.
That is a subgenre. Yeah.
So, I don't expect it to be, but such good movies. I love them. So yeah, we're going to do
I'm putting that on my list again.
Review.
Yeah. That's going on my list.
Nice. And they're I'm trying to think. I just watched the first one again. I'm trying to think if it's Final Girl, if Eliza Dushku or whatever her name is, ends up being a final. I know she. I don't know. We're going to be spoiling it. We'll be spoiling it.
We just watched the The Collector and the Collection for another podcast, and they were really charming movies. Like I say charming because they kept my attention, and the second one, that's what I mean. Like the first one it kind of reminded me of Saw. It's the same people that wrote Saw 4, 5, and 6. So the first one reminded me of Saw in just a lot of ways. There's like the male lead, like Adam reminded me of Adam. But then the second one just went completely like took it to the next level. So that's why it's funny because the second ones either go down or they go up. And that one definitely went up.
So the Collection I know very well. That and Hatchet are my favorite modern franchises, if you can call 2 movies a franchise.
Yeah.
Collection and Hatchet I absolutely love.
Did you like Collection better than Collector?
So I love like setting the scene in beginnings of storytelling. So I would say 1 because you kind of start to learn some things, but that doesn't downgrade 2 at all.
Okay.
I just love it because it was also when I watched the first one, it was so fresh. I'm like, there was definitely elements of Saw in it, but everything other than that was so fresh in the concept.
That's why really I like the first one though, because I love Saw. So I was like, hell yeah, give me some Saw,
Yeah. Saw is my love hate. When I saw in the theaters, I forget who I was watching it with, but I was like, if they make another one of these fucking movies, I'm going to go insane. So the first one, when he's in the room and he shuts the door, I'm like, that is the greatest movie ending.
Incredible ending.
History.
With the music and the screaming over the credits.
Like, that's the best ending I've ever seen in my life that I can ever recall. And I'm like, if they make a second, I'm going to be so pissed. And
here we are.
Yeah. That first
I liked 10. I really liked 10. I thought 10 brought
the tubes thingy.
Yeah.
I've not watched that one.
Oh, it's actually really good.
It brings back all of the good stuff from the first
and
one.
It's very Jigsaw centric, and like John Kramer, he's the best part of the franchise. Like he's the most interesting. So
the Chris Rock one threw me down the sewer. I watched that in theaters and was like, they're really milking this.
It's not great. Also, I have to tell you something funny. So I was looking up Wrong Turn 2. I asked ChatGPT, don't come for me. I'm the AI positive person. So I asked ChatGPT if there was a final girl in Wrong Turn 2. And I'm not going to use names here because I don't want to spoil it for Sarah. It has now been spoiled for me. But it's really funny because ChatGPT said, yes, Wrong Turn 2 absolutely has a final girl. And her name is blank. Wait, just kidding. She dies almost immediately. The real final girl is blank. And I was like, wait, did ChatGPT just fake me out and play a prank on me?
What is the fast one on you?
I was like, okay, just kidding. It's not her. It's this other one. So yes, there is a final girl.
Let's put her on our list.
Let's do it. Yeah.
Well, the only other thing I was going to bring up was that Good Boy movie that's coming out.
So what the hell is that?
Yeah. So I'm going to read a synopsis of what it says. It's called, it says, a loyal dog moves to a rural family home with his owner, Todd, only to discover supernatural forces lurking in the shadows. As dark entities threaten his human companion, the brave pup must fight to protect the one he loves most. And it's all from shot in the point of view of a dog.
I love this.
That's awesome.
Okay. Did you guys see the movie Voices?
Oh, I love that one with Ryan Reynolds. Ryan Reynolds.
I love that movie. That's a good movie, and you can fight me for that.
I love that
kind
movie.
Of pet-centric horror movie that I can think of offhand. But okay, I'm gonna put Good Boy on my list too.
Yeah, me too.
So Mark, it's there's a dog and cat, and they're kind of telling him to do this murders actually, and
with these girls,
Really? Yeah. Is it a horror movie?
It's a silly horror movie.
It's horror comedy. Horror comedy. Yeah.
It's really good.
I was like, that's not ringing bells for me.
It's so funny.
It is fun.
Yeah.
It's funny because it takes a complete, I don't want to say twist, it takes a turn because you think you're like, this is a funny Ryan Reynolds movie because he's in all these comedies and he's just sarcastic and whatever. And you're like, this is just the same kind of thing. And then all of a sudden you're like, whoa, shit.
Yeah. I remember it being pretty gruesome actually.
Yeah. So I loved that movie. Yeah. I gotta rewatch that one. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, Good Boy was doing so good at South by Southwest that now
I'm excited for that.
By Shudder at some point. It's not out yet, but they are going to be releasing it.
I'm excited to see that one. Yeah, Shudder has been killing it.
Shudder's got so much stuff. Their search engine needs to change, though. Their format. The format of Shudder is the whole
interface isn't great, but
that's all right though. That's not their game. So
we forgive you, Shudder.
Moving forward, we are going to get into kind of the whole reason we are here, and it's to celebrate one very special final girl, Kirsty Cotten. Ashley Lawrence from the Hellraiser 1, 2, and 6, which is...
Technically, 6 is non-canon, but it's Hellseeker.
Hellseeker. I didn't want to say Bloodlines, but I couldn't remember what to say properly. So, excited about this one because I love Hellraiser for so many reasons. If not, even though I'm not really a goth dude, the fashion...
Oh, the Cenobites. The Cenobites fashion, yes. Especially in
full
2.
S&M gear.
Yeah. I wish I could just throw that on for a club night and be like,
that's a good point. Yeah.
Oh man. Cool. So for me, I watch these movies. So I'm a little bit older. I don't know how old you are, and you don't have to tell ages, but I'm 43. So I was alive in the 80s. Well, okay, cool. So for me, I watched these when they came out, and there was a buzz about them because they were viewed as very much demonic. And this is towards, I know one of you is a Satanic Panic fan, and we love that shit too.
Yeah.
So there was, because we talk about metal and stuff, and so there was a lot of that shit in metal and stuff at the time. So a lot of that was still pouring into the mid to late 80s, which I think the first one was in 87. So there was a buzz around that because, I mean, let's face it, it is a dark film. It does deal with hell and whether you want to call them demons or whatever, Cenobites. But so it definitely was kind of getting some of that heat. So there was a little bit of a forbidden kind of aura around it in the 80s
movies back then.
Yeah. So kind of busting in. Do we want to just talk about the first one and go kind of premise?
Yeah.
What the first one?
I got to ask you guys, are you members of TST, the Satanic Temple?
I am not.
Nope.
I'm Catholic. They would get very upset with me, but I will say this: I do support them. I understand what they do.
A friend of mine in Austin, is, and it's where, so like I really kind of learned about it because just hearing about it, all I had heard was, you know, like the far end of shit and stuff like that. So I actually had a close friend of mine who was a member and did a whole bunch of events, and I hung out with her and like did a whole bunch of charitable things and stuff like that. So it's not, I mean, you know, it's not exactly what I know a lot of people kind of view it as and stuff like that. So
it's so different.
Yes, but I am very familiar with it.
We actually had on our podcast, we did a drag queen episode with one of our friends, and she read Casper, a TST book called Goodnight. So Casper, that's one of Casper's books that we read for him for bedtime. So I said, I am Catholic, but like I support it. I understand what they're doing. I think they're a good organization. There's also some members, you know, that of course, you know, everybody has their members that do shitty things, but it's okay. Like the main goal and what they try to do is very legit and actually more Christian than most Christian organizations.
Yep.
So funny to me. And it's like, that makes sense.
I just got to ask because we went to SatanCon in 2023 or 2023. And we got married in Salem. At the time they weren't doing weddings at the headquarters, but we did go into their little, they have like this red room with these big like chairs and got our photos taken in there. So we're big on that stuff. That's a big part of our, you know, philosophy.
That's really cool. Sweet. I mean, hell, we've been thinking about doing an episode that revolves around TST because, and like just having an open conversation.
Yeah.
Because, you know, I like to hear about it. I even have a couple books from them. Like I said, my husband and I support them, but we're just not going to be on their shit list or on the Catholic Church's shit list.
I get it.
And from what everything I learned from my friend, like, and again, I don't know a ton, but for me, everything that she was kind of describing and telling me and stuff, I almost wanted to be like, wouldn't it be best if y'all like renamed it? Or
that's
like,
the point, though. The name is the point.
Okay.
Is the point.
Is it?
Yep.
Okay.
Yep. The name is definitely. It's part of the like fuck you authority type of a thing. It's part of people being scared of it and just kind of like reclaiming it. So the name is part of it. Yeah.
Yeah, because there was that kid that did that video clip. I'm
here to worship my Lord and Savior.
Yes.
Miraculous stone. Notice me, senpai.
Yes.
Notice me.
And then,
I love him.
And that was around the same time that like, I know a lot of people were trying to push for having other like religious
equal
statues in like public spaces and squares and stuff like that. So, around that time was when my friend Sierra was kind of like, and I was, you know, hanging out and doing some of those events and stuff.
We went to a screening, a special screening of the movie. Is it like something Satan?
Is it Hail Satan? The documentary? Yep. Yeah.
So we went to a special screening of that, my husband and I, and it was wonderful. We even had there was even a person from TST that came and just was talking about, you know, different things, not necessarily recruiting. He was just kind of there to talk. And I thought that was really cool. I just remember going up to him afterwards and I'm like, this was really good. I really like this movie. And he goes, well, are you interested? And I'm like, I'm Catholic. I'm sorry.
Totally get it. Yep. As long as you can live by the 7 tenets, you can call yourself whatever you want. That's,
Sweet.
But back to
the dark satanic stuff about Hellraiser.
Yes.
We also had like a gentleman on the podcast not too long ago, CJ, when we talked about like Cthulhu horror.
The stuff I knew nothing about. Knew nothing.
We brought up a really
this has been coming up a lot lately.
It's coming up for us a lot.
Yeah, weirdly. Yeah, I'm like, I think I'm going to have to start reading some H.P. Lovecraft because I swear to God, it comes up every day.
So we talked about like, you know, how if Hellraiser wasn't so heaven and hell based, it almost would be a really good Lovecraftian kind of film.
Yeah. I get real Universal monster vibes from Pinhead. Yes. I don't know why. It just really grabbed me, and like he really just everything about him just really grabbed me as a modern day, 80s.
Yeah.
I love that Doug Bradley's voice matches his image, and that doesn't happen all the time.
Yes. I mean, he made Pinhead. Like, Pinhead is him. Like, that's why when they brought the woman, I can't remember her name, it was very controversial.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I think Doug Bradley's voice matches his Pinhead visage, but then when he's like unpinheaded and you see his like actual like face and stuff, then it was a little bit jarring to me. But
I get that.
Yeah. I always am like, I'm always in a creepy way saying, "What's your pleasure, sir?"
We have such sights to show you.
Yeah. That's one of my favorite ones. I'll usually like, "Oh, no tears, please. It's such a waste of such good stuff."
Yeah.
And I actually have a shirt. So I collect shirts of whatever. So I was at Spencer's of all places a long time ago, digging through the dollar bin because I'm a rat and I love to dig through shit. Like that's my favorite thing. So I find this Macho Man Randy Savage shirt, and I'm like, I look at it because he's sitting on a pier in like all Macho Man get out with this championship belt right next to him, and there's like a lake, and I'm like, what the fuck is this? I'm like, it's mine is what it is. So I'd buy it for like $3. And so my friend Mikey, if you're watching, you're a bastard because it's been over a year since you made this shirt for me, you shithead, but you're gonna. Anyway, so I have a Hellraiser shirt that I'm too fat for both of the shirts. So I'm like, all right, we're going to cut both these bitches up. So he's making, the front is Macho Man on the pier with his championship belt. And on the back in like death metal red writing that's very faded, it says, "We'll tear your soul apart." And I'm like, that is the most greatest shirt that could ever be made.
Incredible. Oh my
why
God.
is there such a like crossover between horror fans and wrestling fans?
There is.
And I say that like we've talked to a bunch of like wrestling podcasters because they also have horror podcasts.
Yeah.
Cool.
I'm like only tangentially a wrestling fan because my fiance Nirvan is like the big wrestling guy. And so I end up watching a lot of it, and we've gone to some of the like events and stuff. But that's so funny. I just like, it's just a weird intersection for some reason.
I'm not like a huge wrestling fan or anything. When I was a kid in the 80s, again, wrestling was huge. That one blew up. I had the toys and all that stuff. But I just thought that like that's the most badass shirt, and I'm having Mikey.
That's amazing. That's amazing.
Mikey's gonna fucking watch this. So you little shithead, you need to finish that shirt for my birthday present.
Be in the comments and be like, "I'm sorry."
I talk to him like weekly, so it's nothing new. But yeah, sorry to get off track on that, but I'm having that badass shirt made, and I will send pictures.
That's awesome.
I guess it kind of gets back on track, like Kirsty Cotten. So she's in actually technically 3 movies in the franchise, and we'll go over the weird kind of offshoot one that's technically non-canon.
Yeah.
But in the novel, she was actually Larry, or in this case, his name was Rory, his love interest, or somebody that had a I guess wanted to have a connection with them, but he was a married man. He was married to, is it Julia?
Julia.
I think so. Yeah.
The bitch.
Julia.
But she wasn't a daughter.
The villainess. Yes.
Yeah. So she was never a daughter, but she liked Rory and worked with him and wanted to not see this marriage come to fruition, but it did. But so she was never meant to be the daughter, but I think that's where the beauty of the first film comes in, because it makes more sense for her to be a daughter. Why else would she go through all this shit, know, if it's just a mutual, like, kind of unrequited love situation in the actual book? Like, that's too much. That's too far.
This, it's her stepmom, and her dad is like, can you please, make buddy with her so that we can have an okay, like, family life, essentially.
And she's already from the get-go in that movie. Like, she's such a bitch. Like, I can't.
Oh, Julia?
Just looking at her fucking face. It's just like,
I loved her character. I loved her character.
Part of it is that we see early on that she has been having an affair with Larry in the movie, Larry's brother, Frank. And so that, of course, that like immediately is like, they're like fucking on her wedding dress. I mean, you're like, okay, wow, she is one of those, but
she's a dirty bitch.
Yes.
I love her look because she gives like evil stepmom look.
Yes.
Like Cinderella-ish.
She gives off Dallas vibes.
Oh, that too.
Yes, like old Dallas, like the TV show, like Dynasty Dallas.
Okay.
She gives off those vibes.
Yeah.
We had a character in Cellar Dweller that gave off the same vibes, like an old Dallas, Texas money vibe.
And it's like, why the fuck are you here? Like, this makes no sense.
Mm-hmm.
Well, and she's a little out of place anyway, because she's clearly English.
Oh, yeah.
And in my notes, I wrote down that she kind of, like, her makeup and hairstyling is like David Bowie a little bit.
Oh, yeah.
I like your comparison better.
That's what I like about her, is that her whole look. I just really loved her character.
Yeah,
she's intense.
The shoulder pads, too. Yep. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, love it. The haircut, all of it.
I also like that she does not give a fuck. Like, she understands, like, oh, Frank, you're back? Oh, I need to kill people? I'll go do that for you. No problem.
Well, yeah, so we should say that Frank, of course, at the beginning of the movie, we see him solving the lament configuration puzzle box because he wants to explore the realm of pain and pleasure, the extremes.
About that. Like, because she comes across his pictures and stuff like that. And the most extreme thing he's doing is with another girl and
he's just
naked.
like begging. Yeah.
And it's like, that's it.
But because maybe that's why he solves the puzzle box, because he's like, I gotta go way beyond.
See if there's
this,
more,
right?
you know. Oh,
he's like, these chicks ain't cutting it. They're too plain.
Yeah, and so he gets like ripped
bondage
up
or something. Like,
yeah,
I don't know. Maybe
there's nothing. He went right from like standard banging to being ripped apart by chains because he wanted to like go all the way. So
he went from missionary to being ripped apart, like. Just, right away. So
I'll never kink shame, but it's like, dude, you don't want to explore this a little bit before you just jump into it.
Yeah, you're going right to 100. Dip your toe in.
Yeah. No,
not with Frank.
No, he's all in. It's all or nothing with him apparently. And he's like this nasty kind of greaser dude.
Yeah, but that's what draws like Julia to him, is because he's like running a knife along like her body and stuff like that. And then so when she so Larry like cuts his hand, because they're living in that house now where Frank was torn apart. Larry cuts his hand and like bleeds onto the floor a lot.
With that nail?
That actually was pretty, like, he's like, I don't do well with blood.
Yeah.
And but I was thinking like, oh my God, I would probably be that way too. Because it's heavily bleeding.
Yeah.
And then so he bleeds on the floor, and then Frank kind of like materializes from the floorboards and like amazing effects, like really cool effects. And then that's when Julia is like, oh shit, and starts like, reconnecting with Frank, shall we say.
And these parts are some that I love because everything is slimy and wet.
Yes.
Really wet.
He's so nasty.
It's so dirty. It's just gnarly.
I read in the trivia that they used lube to keep everything moist. That there was a lot of use of lube and condoms because it would maintain the lubricant look.
Wow.
So,
Oh, okay.
That's cool. Wow.
That seems on brand for the whole movie.
Yeah, 100%. That's so cool.
So a big difference that between, the novel and the actual movie for me gives way to the worst thing about this movie. And it's the fact that, in the novel, she was not a daughter, but in the movie, she's a daughter. And the worst shit about this movie that I hate is No, I can deal with that.
Okay.
I'm okay with that.
You like hillbilly movies that have nothing but incest in them, so it's not a problem.
Oh my god.
No, is when they say, "Come to daddy."
Oh, I don't like that either.
I hate that.
I don't like that either.
Oh, that makes me want to sit in a corner and punch myself in the face. I hate that.
It's super gross. And then, of course, they brought it back in the second one with like "Come to Mother." But
in my brain, and this is how weird and I don't know I am. To me, I always draw equivalents. It's the equivalent of having macaroni and cheese and squirting ketchup into it and eating it.
Okay,
that's how it makes me feel. I don't
like
know why.
You ruined a good thing with something gross.
I don't know. It just gives me the heebie-jeebies, like macaroni and cheese and ketchup would. I don't know. Maybe some of you out there may understand.
Making me curious. Like you're making me a little curious now what that would taste like. So I'll be the guinea pig. I don't care. I'll eat anything.
Ketchup, and I wouldn't even do that. I have a shirt that says I have a shirt that says I put ketchup on my ketchup, and I wouldn't even do that.
That's funny.
I've never wore that.
No, you've never worn that.
No, I've not. That's another one I may be too fat for. I might have to bust out the seams and sew it onto another one. That's what I do. I just get too fat and I'm like, well, this shirt is badass though. We need to fix that. We're going to cut that bitch off and put it on another shirt.
Or you cut the sleeves off and you cut it at the midsection and then you have a sweet crop top.
Ooh. There you go. I like that idea.
I wish more men would wear crop tops. You would look fine.
I try to get people, because I talked about the hairy bagel on a previous episode. You know, I'd be showing the hairy bagel. I don't know if y'all know what that is, but for a guy,
is it your belly button?
Yeah, if you push your stomach together and your belly button shows the hairy bagel.
Why have I not heard of that? That's funny.
That's vivid.
That is vivid.
You're welcome. I'm good for that.
It sounds like something would be on Trailer Park Boys or something.
Right? I probably should have been on Trailer Park Boys.
That's funny. But
yeah, sorry, I had to throw that in there before I forgot, because very few phrases in movies give me the heebie-jeebies as legendary as that.
Come to daddy.
Come to daddy. It's just, it does. It makes me want to throw up and slip on it. I don't know. It's ridiculous.
That's funny.
Kirsty is such a badass in that movie, though. Like all this shit's happening around her, and she's just like, okay, I guess we gotta go. I got to use my brains against their brawn and other shit. Like she
thinks on her feet. Yeah, she thinks on her feet, and she also uses the Cenobites' like humanity kind of debate them, and like she's just very smart. Like she's just always a step ahead, which I like.
And she was young. She was 21 in that first one.
This was her first movie.
Yeah, which is insane.
Really crazy to like immediately. Like, that's what I was thinking when I was watching it, like rewatching it for the first time in 10 years or whatever. I was like, oh my God, she went from not being an actor to being a final girl in an iconic, like classic horror movie. I think it's really, really cool. And yeah, she's up against arguably some of the most intimidating like horror movie monsters that I can think of.
Oh yeah.
Like, she's literally up against like demons or angels or whatever you want to call them, like from hell.
Interdimensional sadists.
Demons, angels to some, demons to others. Yeah. Or vice versa, whatever the syntax is. But yeah, so like at this point in the movie, like Julia has been killing a bunch of people to feed to Frank so that he can become like a full flesh and blood human again, so that they can start fucking again. That is literally like the whole point.
That's just the main goal.
That's just the goal.
Yeah. She's like,
this movie is very horny. It's a very horny movie.
So horny.
And even when he's doesn't even have his like full skin or anything yet, they're already like kind of going at. And this happens in the second movie too, when Julia doesn't have her skin yet, and they're like making out and stuff. I'm like, you know what? Wait till their skin, man.
She's kind of hot though. Like
the D skin.
The skin Julia's okay. Like I understand her more than I understand Frank.
Yeah.
Okay. Hey, I'm not here to kink shame either. Like, get it, girl. But
my little guy likes her. Like, I think she's cute. Whereas him is like, you go away.
She's
some skin
she's
on.
More charismatic. That's part of it. Like,
she's not as slimy.
Charming.
Yeah, not as slimy.
She's more. I feel like I could just punch the meat. That's it.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know how to describe her because she's not slimy. It just there we go. It's all good.
Well, to be fair, they do like he does like heavily cover her in bandages and everything, so it's like just her lips are exposed, and then so she's like a mummy. Out with.
Even the remnants around her lips and eyes is like
it's
gooey, slimy. Yeah.
On the bandages. I never said that I would kiss her.
Well, okay. Yeah. That's...
Oh, okay.
So there was a part in the second one where she's kissing I can't remember his name, but it was this other doctor that got Kirsty out, and she's like kissing him and he dies from it. But like, I don't know if you noticed, but I had to pause it and like rewind it. After that, she has the makeup around her face.
Yep. I saw that.
That's awesome.
It was like Channard or Channard. I can't
That was the
remember
surgeon. Yeah, but he had an assistant that helped Kirsty out in the second one.
Yeah.
Who was the good guy that was
the good guy.
But he died like instantly. It's like not even in the
he's not in it for very long. She's resourceful in the way that, like, if we're jumping to the second one, she's resourceful in the way that she befriends this doctor. Yeah. And is like, you know what? You're gonna help me. I can help you, maybe. Mm-hmm. And she just kind of goes from there, because you got the bad doctor who like secretly collects like the lament configurations and shit. Like, he knows what's up.
Yeah. But to kind of go back to the first one, because I know we're kind of talking about like, so we've gotten to where Julia is now providing bodies, and now it's become this whole love triangle thing where she's kind of banging Frank on the side. And Dottie doesn't know. And so daughter kind of comes in and really kinds of like discovers what's going on.
She's so quick to it too. Like, at first it fools her for a second, and then she's like, and she like tricks the Cenobites into like, oh, well, if I reveal who actually did it to you and they say it aloud.
Yeah, well, she's like, hey. So she does, she solves the puzzle box, and she like encounters the Cenobites, and she's like, hey, Frank, like my Uncle Frank escaped you. Like, he escaped your punishment and your clutches. And if I give him back to you, like, will you like go away and like leave me and my dad alone and just like take Frank? And that doesn't go so well either.
Yeah. And for me, my only knock with Hellraiser is I think that the ending should have been brought up more and stretched out. Like, there should have been more of like the Cenobites and Pinhead and all that stuff. And the curved, hairy, evil banana that's running down the hallway. They should have had more than that. They should have had more of that.
What did I call that? Like the like skin scorpion or something. Where it's like just clearly hanging on like a track, and it's just like zooming at them. But so the ending of this movie then is kind of silly, because like
the dragon.
Yep, we're gonna get there. Frank, I'm just gonna zip through it. Frank takes possession of Larry's body. He kills Larry, takes possession of Larry's body, tries to hook up with Kirsty. She's grossed out because she's like, Dad, and then she realizes it's Frank. She realizes it's Frank, and then the Cenobites kill Frank, and he says, Jesus wept. Like, right as he's being killed. It's really cool. And then the Cenobites are like, okay, Kirsty, now it's your turn. And she's like, what? And then so she starts like solving the puzzle box really quickly to like defeat each of them. It's shooting out like this really janky lightning effect at like each Cenobite, and then they go away, and then the house is like falling apart. So then she and her like Tom Hanks wannabe boyfriend run out of the house. Yep. And they try to throw the puzzle box into a fire. And then a person that we saw earlier, this creepy man who's been kind of lurking, runs at he goes into the fire, he picks up the puzzle box, and then he becomes a skeleton dragon, and he flies away. The end.
Yes.
He's like the keeper.
Beautiful ending. Yes. If ever there's a role for me in a movie, it's that.
The skeleton dragon?
No, the creepy guy.
Oh, the creepy guy.
The guy right before.
With the crickets.
Yeah. Who's eating?
I could totally do that.
That would be.
I could totally do that. Yeah.
But yeah, Kirsty, she in the end of the first movie, she defeats all the Cenobites. Yep. Boom. Now we're like on to the second movie, where she is in the mental hospital, which is where she makes friends with that doctor's assistant.
This poor girl is always waking up in the hospital.
Yeah, she is.
Like there's like 4 or 5 times, maybe like 4 times. She wakes up poor thing.
I'm going to look up what that other guy's name is, because I can't remember.
Yeah. So for me, Hellraiser 2,
this is the best one in my opinion.
Yes, I love Hellraiser 2. Oh my
wild.
God, I love that movie.
Like 3 too, but
I get 3. 3 makes it Hellworld.
It was Kyle. Kyle was the friend, the doctor friend.
Kyle's such a name where you need to die instantly.
Yeah.
He doesn't last very long. Yeah, like
Kyle's a name that like cheated on his girlfriend 3 times. So yeah. He needs to die right away.
Yeah.
Kyle's a cheater. Get him out of here. Yeah. So, to me, I love how they lay out the whole doctor and they kind of build up this character to be like, what do you call when it's like mano a mano, like an equivalent? I don't know, where it's like one evil is going to battle another evil for top evil. I don't know. I'm losing my words.
That's okay. I get what you mean.
Like that makes sense. Yeah. I think I've heard that.
They're kind of building up this alternative to Pinhead that, is evil in maybe a different way. Cause at that point we don't fully know Pinhead's background 100%. Like we see the doctors evolve and stuff like that. So for me, I love when it starts to kind of build up and you see how pretty freaking terrible this doctor is, with the things and flashbacks.
He makes a good villain because you're like, oh, fuck this dude. Like immediately. Well, because you can see he's like lobotomizing patients at his hospital who don't need it, which is, arguably one of the worst things you could do as a doctor. So
some of the paperwork just got crisscrossed. It's my nurse's fault. It's the nurse's fault every time.
So he deserves what's given to him.
Yeah,
so.
I would agree.
But so my question is, so Kyle comes to like tell Kirsty, I got to get you out of here, whatever. And they kind of seem a little flirty. I don't know if you picked up on that.
Totally.
And I was like, what about Steve from the first movie?
Who gives a fuck about Steve?
Yeah, there's no resolution to that storyline whatsoever. But yeah, I thought they were a little flirty.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Definitely got that
100%.
Yeah. Steve moved to Montana. He's old news.
Oh, Steve basically was like, bitches still having nightmares. I'm the one who put her in the hospital.
Yeah.
Steve just went to his home planet. And then, the doctor revives Julia in the same way that Frank was revived. Well, so they have the mattress that Julia died on. We didn't mention. I didn't mention that she died. So they have the mattress, and then so he is able to revive her so that her like bloody, nasty, like slimy body comes up. And then because he makes a patient think that he has bugs all over him or something. So the patient like slices his whole body up and then the blood drips into the mattress and then Julia's back. So.
Yes, which is, my probably favorite scene of the movie because I remember watching it young and being just totally freaked out by that guy with bugs.
I bet.
Now that I watch it older, I'm like, dude, you could just go like this. Like, I understand it gives you a razor, but you don't need a razor cut him off. You're okay.
It's a really long scene too. Like, it goes on, and then I was telling Sarah that I was kind of laughing at the tussle that ensues between like her and the patient because they're both just kind of like sliding on the ground like seals, just like pursuing each other.
It's awkward.
This weird, slow, awkward thing. It doesn't read very well anymore, but I'm sure at the time it was pretty grotesque.
Yeah. And I love the her coming out. It's very similar to the floorboard scene in the first one.
Yeah, it is.
Same type of thing of her coming out of the mattress.
Yeah.
That
I love these
really
effects.
Cool.
I love these effects.
Beautiful.
Even that stupid hanging skin scorpion thing. It looks so bad, but it's just there's something charming about that.
That's going to be my male stripper name, Skin Scorpion.
Skin Scorpion.
Let's go.
Obsessed with this.
You don't need to credit me for that, so just you can have it. Keep that away.
I'll dedicate it every time to you. I strip.
Oh my god, that's hilarious.
This is for you, Kellie.
Skin Scorpion. It could also be a wrestler name.
Yeah,
that's true. That's true. There's a lot of crazy
Skin Scorpion.
Yeah, a little like whitey tighty.
Yeah.
And then it's like skin and then scorpion on the back and
butt?
gold writing with
like a tail. With like a tail decal, or like their entrance, you can have like the tail in like LED lights, like they do with like Randy Orton with like the Cobra. Anyway,
all right,
there we go.
You're a wrestler now. Can't do it.
There you go.
You got a whole gimmick.
A stripper that moonlights as a wrestler.
Yeah,
there we go.
I'm a fan.
That makes sense.
I'm a fan.
Okay, we also have a mute girl in this movie, which is Tiffany. And she's just kind of this young teenager who Kirsty is kind of shepherding through hell, basically, because the doctor tricks or kind of gets Tiffany to solve the puzzle box because she's like really into solving puzzles. Then there's a really, really long scene where the portal opens and the Cenobites come through. And then Kirsty runs into hell because she thinks her dad is in there because she saw like a dream, like a vision from her dad saying like, I'm in hell, help me. So she goes into hell and Tiffany's in hell and then Julia's in hell and Channard is in hell. I will
say that entrance with the Cenobites and Pinhead is my favorite part of the whole movie. And cool. I think I texted you, Kelly, when I was watching it. It gave me such strong Tim Burton vibes. And it was kind of like with Pinhead and all of the fog. And then there was like this really swelling, like orchestral music that made me think of Danny Elfman. So it just but it was the same year as Beetlejuice. So it's not like Tim Burton was, maybe he was influenced later by this movie, but yeah, it just gave me real strong Tim Burton vibes.
Yeah. Oh, the music for both of
all
them
of those movies are
so good.
Are really
so good. Yeah.
Yeah. And so Julia tries to show Channard the ways of hell since he's so interested in like seeing her world, basically. But she almost immediately has him turned into a Cenobite.
Yeah.
So he gets like put into like a box thing.
I love it. Yeah.
This is pretty cool. It's pretty nasty. He has like a real like kind of medical theme to him because he is a doctor who's been like experimenting
and shit.
He's got like hypodermic.
Evil scientist.
And because of the like lobotomizing, he has like the thing on the back of his head.
That's my favorite when it rattles his head.
Nasty.
I love that.
The doctor. Is he?
That's so cool. So and then Kirsty's character develops in the second movie, takes on a little bit more badassery, leadership, maturity, however you want to describe it.
I kind of compared to Nancy from
Nightmare on Elm Street.
Nightmare on Elm Street. She's kind of got the same vibe because she knows about this world. She knows what you need to do in order to combat it, and like she's shepherding this little dream warrior.
Exactly. Yep. Exactly. That's what I told Sarah too. Is that like in my mind, having not rewatched this movie or Dream Warriors for like a long time, I was almost conflating the two because thematically they are similar, and Nancy and Kirsty are similar. And I totally get that completely.
Julia getting sucked through that wind tunnel or whatever the fuck.
Yeah,
with this so funny skin suit.
Her skin.
Is that the skin suit? Yeah.
She gets sucked out of her skin because like Tiffany, she's like, take my hand, and then Tiffany's like holding her hand, and then she gets sucked out of it, and then there's like a pile of skin.
It's so funny. Like I don't know,
which comes into use.
I mean, that's what I love about Kirsty. It's like she's okay. We'll get there, but I don't want to jump too ahead. But she wears this evil stepmother's blood-soaked skin. Like it's just badass. Perfect. It's perfect. It's the perfect ending.
Also, Sarah, I know that you and I both like the scene like shortly before this where she encounters Frank again. Like in that like hell, where he reveals that he's the one who actually lured her there. Her father's not there. And then he's like, you're going to be one of my like little toys for all eternity. And he has like a bed set up for her and stuff. And then she like tricks him. And then Sarah, does she like light him on fire? Like, or something. Kirsty is like pretty badass in this scene.
I think she lights the whole thing on fire.
Yeah.
Oh, she pretends to kiss him.
That's right. Because and that also has the thing that we don't like, which is like the threat of sexual violence. And then, but then she leans into it. Often. We have to talk about that so often, but then she like leans into it and uses that to like, that's right. That's right.
To trick him.
Yep. Like Selena from 28 Days Later.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yep. And then, she lights it on fire. Then he loses his skin again. And then Julia comes in and her and Frank have like a moment. And then what happens after that?
Is
that the wind tunnel?
Isn't
I can't remember.
Well, no. So the wind tunnel would have been before that because the big. Are we up to the big reveal where they have the duel where it's the Doctor and Pinhead are dueling it out, fighting?
Yeah, we're basically there.
Yeah.
Because doesn't Kirsty get like Pinhead to remember his human side?
He has a photo of him, pre-Pinhead, that she picked up in the doctor's office, and we did see a flashback at one point in this movie of Sarah. What was his name in the movie?
Oh, jeez.
What was that? This is gonna bug me.
Anyway,
he's like
human Pinhead.
Oh, I want to say like Ian or something. It's something with an
it was
I.
like something like Stanley. It was something really like
we're gonna have to look this up.
Yeah, we're gonna have to look this up.
We do this all the time.
Yeah,
it's Elliot Spencer. It was Spencer.
Mr. Spencer. Yeah, you got it before I did.
We saw a flashback of him in the bunker because he was like in the war like many years prior to this, and he opened the puzzle box, and then he got sucked into hell, and he became Pinhead because they drove like a bunch of pins into his head, tortured him a bunch, and then eventually he was a Cenobite. And then so Kirsty has a picture of him from before that, and she shows it to him because he's like, we're not going to make any deals with you. Yeah. And she's like, no deals, just information. And then she gives him the photo. He's like, I remember. And then they all start to turn back into their human forms, including now we learn that the Chatterer was actually like a young boy.
A little boy, yeah.
Little boy. Deep Throat turns back into a woman. Butterball turns back into like a big man. And then, unfortunately, Channard shows up at this point in his like Cenobite form, and he starts just like murdering very easily. And this scene pissed me off so much because you think that Spencer / Pinhead is going to do anything, but really he just like stands there, gets his throat sliced by Channard, and then just goes like and then dies.
And
that's
so frustrating.
Didn't even put up a fight.
Nothing. Literally just stands there bleeding out and then dies.
Because they built it up to like a duel.
Totally. Because you wouldn't expect it to come down to Kirsty versus or Tiffany, Kirsty or Tiffany versus Channard. You would have thought the Cenobites would help, but no, they do literally nothing. But then now is the big like fight because Channard is like going against Tiffany, and then Kirsty is wearing the skin suit.
Yes, Julia. We think it's Julia is a part of it. And then I forget you just said the girl's name. What is her name again?
Tiffany.
Tiffany. Yeah.
Tiffany's kind of on the ledge falling, and they have that played out scene where the skin starts to pull away, and then it's revealed that it's Kirsty wearing Julia's skin. And then, pulls her up and all that stuff. So that's the big reveal that was pretty good. It was a pretty good
moment. I did not see that coming.
Super final girl moment. 100%.
And because of that because of the ending, and 2 was why I originally was thinking, because we did like a whole list where I gave you guys a bunch of names, but that was the reason why I put Kirsty Cotten in, is because of that end is like a really strong female, like, fuck you, like I got you moment. I thought that was perfect for a final girl.
It totally is, no, it's a great choice for a final girl, and obviously she's one of like the iconic ones. I also think just the idea of her literally rushing into hell to try to save like her father's soul is also one of the most badass things that I could possibly imagine, because that's taking on a huge endeavor.
Well, she knows what she's up against too. She's fighting the same stuff. Yeah.
She knows what she's up against, and they are terrifying. And she's still willing to go there to save her dad. And of course she doesn't. I don't think they even mention her dad anymore after this point, but
didn't they say he's in his own personal hell or something like that?
That's right. They do say that. But I don't remember.
There are different hells for everyone.
Exactly.
So that's pretty much, the culmination for 2. For the next Hellraiser, have you seen the 6? Hellseeker? Okay.
You know what? I probably saw it like 10 years ago.
So, and I had to, but I forgot. So I rewatched it because she's in it, and it's like technically, I mean, she's not in it the whole time.
Actress.
But so within the first like 5 minutes of the movie, you can understand it all because she's riding in a car with Mayhem. The actor that does the Mayhem commercials for Allstate, where he just destroys everything.
Oh, yeah.
So that tells you everything you need to know about the movie. You're in a car with Mayhem, your shit's not going to go well.
Yeah, no.
Yeah.
I do like that actor, though.
Yes, and I forget his name. Yeah, he's in so much stuff.
I'm gonna
He's in an episode of Sex and the City. See, this is where my girly part comes out.
Right. Dean Winters. His name is Dean Winters.
Yes. So she's in a car with him, and they're fighting, and they go off the road, and then you believe Kirsty drowns. And then the movie's not very good. Dean is like the main star, and Kirsty is only really featured primarily in flashbacks.
And like towards the end.
Yeah, because he's trying to piece together. So she disappears. He thinks she dies, but then the car's empty because it's this whole underwater. He gets out. He's trying to get her out. She can't get out. He's running out of breath. He has to surface. Her body's never found. So he's like, what happened to it, to her body, blah, 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 blah. The whole movie is basically he kind of, you find, has been doing like some really bad, shady shit. And so like he has kind of
3 other ladies that he's been with.
Oh, boy.
He and this coworker have an affair. And she also secretly tries to plot to kill Kirsty with him.
Yeah.
It's a whole thing.
Yeah. Okay. Yep. And so, because I'm going to just breeze through it because it's really not that good. And then at the end, the big reveal is Kirsty says, hey, no, fuck you. I went to Pinhead and made a deal and I'm giving him you.
Yeah, we're real good friends. And not to mention, I also killed the coworker that you had an affair with and the 3 other women because I needed 5 souls and you're 5 the last souls. One.
Yep.
Yeah. Wow.
Okay.
I love seeing your face for that because that's so appropriate.
It's. I'm trying to picture how. Yeah, that's wild. I'm gonna have to watch it.
It does say it's the same actress too.
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
I thought it wasn't.
No, it's Kirsty Cotten.
She's just older.
Ashley Lawrence. Yeah,
totally her.
100%.
It was someone else.
Yeah,
I guess because it was made back in 2002.
Yeah, it was.
I just assumed it was someone else.
No, it's Ashley Lawrence.
Fair. Yeah,
it's fair. It's very much Ashley Lawrence. But yeah, it's just I didn't really like it because they Dean Winters' Mayhem experiences like flashbacks or loss of consciousness type throughout the whole movie, and he thinks it's because of his accident, but then you find out that it's not, and he's really, being like lured to the underworld and sort of stuff. It's I don't know. It's pretty terrible. You should watch it though, and let me know what you think. But
I'm gonna watch it.
Yeah, and hopefully we haven't ruined it for you. I mean,
no, what the movie feels like is it feels like it was like a script that was just laid in a pile. And was
like a slush pile,
yeah. And then all of a sudden they looked at it like this would be a good Hellraiser sequel.
We'll just slap Hellraiser IP on this.
Yeah, that's funny. Yeah. Okay, I'm gonna watch it. Yeah, I'm gonna watch it.
Yeah, watch it. Let when you watch it, let me know what you think. Hit me up and let me know what you think. To me, it's entertaining because when the first scene, I'm like, oh, she's in a car with Mayhem. This isn't going to go good. Like I literally said that to myself, having not watched the movie, and I was fucking 100% right. 100% right.
It wouldn't go good anyway because it's a Hellraiser movie. Like otherwise, it would just be like a romantic comedy.
Yeah.
Which is the thing now: romantic comedy horror movies.
That's true.
Sarah loves
which I'm so excited for. It's like they climbed into my brain, like Hard Eyes. It's like they climbed into my brain and asked me what I wanted to watch.
I didn't get a chance to see that one.
Yeah.
Sarah likes a little bit more that we haven't talked about it yet on our podcast, so she hasn't really heard my opinion. I did enjoy it, but the issue that I had with it, and this is not a spoiler at all, is just that I didn't really feel the chemistry between the 2 leads, and that hurts a romantic element to me. Like I just didn't buy their connection, and so that took me out of it a few times. But I do like the murdery aspect.
Sweet.
Yeah.
Cool.
So
this is the early days of this subgenre, so it's only going to go up from here.
But I mean, that's why I wanted to just kind of use it as like an afterthought because it's really not that great. She is a final girl in it, and it is cool that she does give a big fuck you to him at the end, which is kind of the coolest part of it. Otherwise, extremely forgettable.
I mean, Sarah knows this already, but I'm a big completionist. So once I start a series, I will go to the end, even if it's absolute garbage.
That's cool.
So I just I need to know all elements of the story before I put something down.
Yeah.
Otherwise, it's going to bother me.
I'm the same way.
I wrote down all of my favorite one-liners because there are so many good ones.
So good.
So I'm going to read. I'm just going to read them off.
Please do.
So you guys already did demons. So who are you? Explorers in the further regions of experience. Demons some, angels to others. And there was oh no tears please. It's a waste of good suffering.
Yes.
And of course we have such sights to show you is the classic. Trick us again. Your suffering will be legendary even in hell.
Yes.
I do like that one.
You have your whole life behind you now. I love that
That's
one.
One of my favorites.
I love that one. And then in the remake, which is very true, like even the final girl in the remake, her name is Riley. She reminds me a lot of Kirsty.
Yeah.
Like it's very, there's a lot of similarities there. But they continue the whole like scary one-liners, and they had save your breath for screaming.
Yeah.
There's so much more the body can feel, and you'll feel it all before we're through.
Ooh.
And your suffering has barely begun. So I love those one-liners are my favorite part. I loved them.
Mm-hmm. That's cool. Like that's some badass writing. And the fact that so we saw, I think it was on Valentine's Day, my husband and I went to go see Hellraiser. They had re-released it on the big screen, and what a romantic way for us to celebrate. And
I love it.
It was so cool to see it on the big screen again. There was even like a little thing at the end where Doug was talking about the filming process and stuff like that. So that was really cool. But there was a dude that was behind us that was quoting each line right along with us. And I'm like, you're the man. I like you.
That's awesome.
Yeah, I've gone to in Austin. They've had at Alamo Drafthouse. They have quote along and sing along movies where everyone's invited to quote along and sing along to the movie.
I went to one that was Fast Times at Ridgemont High. It was so much fun. That one was a fun one.
I went to one in Seattle for The Room.
Oh my God. Did they throw spoons?
Yep. That is a big part of it. I feel bad for the theater employees. I used to be one. So.
Sarah, with you writing down those quotes and telling them, I just had the most brilliant game pop into my head, hearing all the cool quotes. The game we should play and make is it a line in Hellraiser or typo negative lyrics?
Oh my God.
Dude! That's the best game ever.
That just blew my mind. Oh my God, that's perfect.
Yes. He loves teasing me with it because I fucking love typo negatives.
Yeah. Talk about
I'm going to be the lame square who doesn't know who that is.
Talk about horny, yeah. It's like horny goth music, yeah.
Okay.
Oh my God. That's amazing. I love that.
Yeah, that's a game we need to create. Yeah.
It's funny. Awesome. We have some other podcast friends that they started on Pornhub, and they have a game where it's is the actress a horror actress or is she a porn actress? And it's a really fun game. Yeah,
there's a lot of crossover.
There's a lot of crossover. Yeah. That one is getting off. So shout out to them. They're great.
They're fun. They've had us on 3 times.
Yeah.
That's cool.
That's awesome.
I will say to kind of move forward because you mentioned a lady, a Cenobite or a lady pinhead. Kirsty in the comics actually becomes Queen of Hell and takes over for Pinhead.
I did hear that.
I heard about that. Yeah.
Yeah. So basically the plot synopsis of that, there's a whole backstory because it's multiple comics in a row. But the basic thing is that Pinhead is sick and tired of being in hell. He's done. He doesn't get any joy.
He's retiring. He's retiring.
He doesn't get any joy out of this at all, and he's ripping apart people, and doing all this other stuff.
He's seen it all.
Hell.
He's doing all the pain, none of the pleasure.
Yeah, exactly. He's done. So he basically makes a deal with Kirsty. Hey, can I trade my life for yours, so that way I can be a human again? Because I miss all the smells and all the being able to eat and all this other stuff. I miss all those pleasures. I'm
Who
done.
would agree to that?
Yeah.
He's like to that.
No. And then Kirsty's like, well, you know what? I've lost absolutely everybody that I care about. So sure, I'll switch places with you.
I got nothing to do Tuesday.
Getting out of that.
So basically what happens is that because she becomes queen of hell, when she becomes the queen, she basically looks like a lady version of Pinhead, but she's wearing white because she's more of like a savior. She's more of like, I don't know, like a nicer person, nicer version of Pinhead. Like she gets that this is what she's supposed to do. But like what's funny about it is that she treats it almost as like she's like the new person on the job when she gets to hell. Because she's like asking people like what do I do? I don't know what to do. Like, you guys got to lead me through this shit. And like, she's actually nice to half of the people and stuff like that. And is like understanding like, okay, well, if this was, I think there's one part, and I could be wrong because it's been a while since I've read the comics, but there was like a child molester and she had no problem ripping that guy apart. And she was like, no problems with that. But then there was somebody else that really didn't deserve it. So she was like kind of weighing it. She's like, I don't know what to do with this person. Like they don't really, so she became like this kind of savior judge as far as like who got what punishment.
Well, I guess I can see the appeal in that. There are a lot of people that if they went to hell, I wouldn't mind doling out some serious punishment.
I'm cool with that. If there's like some asshole, like, bye.
The suffering will be legendary even in hell.
That's right. Yes.
Exactly.
I was also Googling the female Pinhead from the newer movie, played by Jamie Clayton, who is a trans woman.
Really? Oh, that's cool. She's really pretty.
The Kirsty as Pinhead image from the comics is actually pretty cool because it is a white dress, but there's like a red sash and then kind of like a red like under, like, I don't know what to call it. It's like underneath the dress is like this red slip.
Like a slip,
If I could show you guys, I would. Well, you guys know already.
Yeah, well, Luke will edit it in. He'll do his magic.
Yeah, Luke does a great job. That's,
But yeah, I don't know. She looks more like an angel, I think. Like just looking at her.
Except for all the needles in her head. Yeah, yeah.
Angels is some.
There you go. There you go. Full circle.
It's all a matter of perspective.
True. Absolutely. Exactly. Because I don't know. I think she looks pretty as female head.
Yeah.
That was very cool looking for sure.
Sweet. Well, I mean, that kind of brings us to the conclusion as much. So yeah, I appreciate y'all. Before we kind of wrap things up, do you have anything coming up? Promote yourselves. Let everybody know where to find you. Any events? Yeah, just let us know. Take it away. What do you all have coming up in the future for you?
You want to take it, Kellie?
Well, we have a lot of upcoming podcasts. We do drop weekly every Wednesday. Like Sarah said earlier, we just dropped our Rosemary's Baby episode. And I guess by the time this gets released, we can probably say what the one after that is going to be, which is Bodies. Right, Sarah? That's the one coming out.
Sophie and B. Yeah. Dual Final Girls.
Yeah, dual Final Girls, just like we did for Death Proof. And we do actually have some events that we plan to attend.
Yeah. Colorado. I'm going to Colorado Horror Convention in September. And we're both going to Midsummer Scream
in August.
And then there's a Kentucky one that someone just reached out to us to come to their Kentucky.
That's
called
horror.
GhoulieCon.
Yeah. Ooh. So we're working on.
Yeah, it's a Ghoulie.
I know. Yeah, I love Ghoulies. Ghoulies one of my favorite.
That's awesome. Yeah.
Kentucky.
So, yeah, we're still we have a call to like follow up with them, so we're not entirely sure how and if it's going to work out. But we want to do everything. Like we want to go everywhere and meet everyone. Just we're having so much fun. meeting some really cool people, and just having like fun collaborations like this. So we're really excited. We're launching our Patreon in July, and we're going to have a ton of like bonus content, ton of interviews and interesting people. And we're doing a mini series called Final Cats.
Oh,
and it's all the cats that make it through. And then we also are doing another series called Final-ish Girls. And they're the ones that aren't necessarily from horror. They could be from different genres, or they can be from different mediums. So like video games or books. So we got a lot of fun stuff ahead. And so I mean, you can find us on social media. We are on Instagram and on Blue Sky. We are Final Girls the podcast on Instagram, and Final Girls podcast on Blue Sky. And it's getting better, but there's a few podcasts that have Final Girls in the title. Yeah. So when you search for us, we don't always come up right away.
Yeah.
It is getting better,
it's
for sure,
on YouTube for sure.
Yeah, and it is, yes, and it is getting better. The more reviews and ratings we get and episodes we are into. But if you can't find us, you can go to our website, and we have links to all the main platforms, and it's final-girls.com, like final-girls.com.
Yeah.
So
and from that page, you can see all of our previous appearances as well, because we love being invited on podcasts. It's like our favorite thing. So thank you so much.
Yeah.
Seriously. We love doing this.
we appreciate it. And I kind of stumbled onto you guys and wanted to, say like, I kind of did in the beginning, but I definitely would encourage you all to keep going. I think you are both very talented at this.
Thank you.
I think you guys have good chemistry, and you're both very well read. So I see a lot of potential in y'all. So I definitely would encourage you to keep going.
You both have really soothing voices too.
Yes.
Well, thank you. I appreciate that.
Good to hear. How everyone hates their own voice. Like, when we started the podcast, I was like, Sarah, I don't think anyone's going to want to hear my voice. Like, I don't like it. So that's really kind of you to say.
Yes.
Still getting over that.
Yeah, no, this has been great. We are so grateful. Thank you for having us on. It's always so much fun to do this kind of and watch the movies. That's one of the things we love doing too. When we get the homework movies, and we get to watch all the same ones. And I mean, we did one where we had to watch, was it like 7, Kelly? It was Nobody's. Yeah. So we love it though. It's really fun. So
cool. And we were talking about the Cthulhu movies earlier,
right.
And so we just had to do. We watched 4 different Creatures of the Deep movies for this other podcast, and one of them was specifically a Lovecraft movie, which was Dagon. Have you guys seen Dagon?
Okay. Yeah, I know about it, but I haven't actually seen it.
It's fun. It's a super silly. It's fun though. It's in like a fun way. Yeah.
Sweet.
Yeah.
Awesome. Well, we appreciate y'all coming on too. We had a blast. I really enjoyed talking with you all. So
likewise.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Well, with that being said, look out for each other, and good night, cellar dwellers. Bye. Sweet.